like you, but mostly us. In a dark corner of the world, three men will work together to bring you a podcast like no other. This is Fanatically Correct, where the fans, the geeks, and the nerds are always correct. With your host, MSK, G.o.T, and Omega.
Hey. Obviously, our watch has ended.
It's done.
Yep. We're gonna be talking the finale, Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode 6, overall Episode 73. Name of the episode, The Iron Throne. And of course, spoilers are the death of spoilers. Spoilers.
Spoilers all day.
I don't know how many more warnings and alerts you need. Oh.
Hey guys, just to let you know, it's gonna be some spoilers.
Just in case. So
Just needed one more.
I am your host, Omega.
MSK?
Yo, peace.
So I guess I don't think we'll start with that, but I just want to get out of the way because I kind of did it with when the Mad Queen went nuts. King Bran, the Broken, Brandon of House Stark,
King Bran,
the Three-Eyed Raven.
Woo!
The Vulcan of Westeros.
The Kaiser Sose of Westeros.
Peeping Tom of history.
Sose.
Destroyer of Hodor. Lord of the Six Kingdoms, damn you, Sansa. And Protector of the Realm. So that's that was quite something. So
that was. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you one thing. When he said Bran, I immediately said what?
Yep.
And then they kept talking. I'm like, I don't mind this. I do not mind this at all.
I actually jumped up from the couch and shot both middle fingers and said, "Screw all you theories."
Yes, I get it.
Because that's why I loved it. Because I got the Funko Pop for my birthday for my mom of the Tyrion on the Iron Throne, and they had different options. Danny, the Night King. I don't think there was a Bran one. Even Funko Pop had no clue. They have like 10 people on the throne. Bran's not one of them.
That's gonna skyrocket if they do.
No, I tell you what, they're being made right now.
They're
making it
no,
right
honestly,
now.
Honestly, I was shocked, and then as they kept speaking, I was like, and I was thinking of everything Bran went through, and with Hodor, and
it works.
going through. I'm like, yeah, I think this is actually well deserved. Yeah. And on top of that, I was just thinking of you, Yopis, because you were the first person I thought of. I was like, man, I wonder if Yopis is gonna like this, because I know how he feels about Bran, and I wonder if he's gonna be okay with it. But for me, I think it was good. No,
I was okay with it. Like, he deserves it, man. Like, kid went through a lot. The kid went through a lot, man, and he always knew. Apparently, he was sitting back. He always knew.
That's the Kaiser Sose part. That's the Kaiser Sose part.
Never panic, and now I understand why this man never panic in any situation.
How great would it have been if he jumped up from the wheelchair like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yo, that would have been awesome. And then he starts walking.
He's just doing a little jig, like a little start jig.
The miracle. The miracle.
It's a miracle. Oh, no, sorry, it's a miracle. Three-Eyed Raven.
No, but seriously, I think his character, the progression of his character, I mean, I think it's well deserved. The only thing I will give a little bit to I know that there's going to be a lot of people hating this, but I'll give him one thing, is if you're a person that needs to have everything detailed and shown to you.
Oh yeah, no, you're going to hate the whole season.
Then for them, they needed that scene where Bran talks to Tyrion, which would have been a great scene.
Yep.
Remember when? And I think it was episode 3 or episode 2.
Yeah, it was
where he talks to Tyrion, and that's off screen.
Yeah, it actually happened a little bit. Well, it was episode 2, right before. Right after the war meeting.
Right.
When they were prepping for the war, and he asked him, "I'd like to hear about your story," and that's when he said, "It's a very long story." And he said, and I think Tyrion said something like, "If only we were stuck in the castle in the winter with nowhere to go or whatever."
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I agree
think
with that.
people like that needed that scene, and I if I would have gotten that scene, I would have been fine with it. But I'm fine without it, because I could put it together. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of people. I'm going to tell you right now, it's almost like there was a meme of that, and I think it's kind of true. But of course, the people getting all the flack are the writers and creators of the show, which are two guys actually, in fairness and defense to them to an extent, they're geniuses because they read through these guys, which I'm going to touch on this too, to defend also R.R. Martin on something, which is his writing style. But they touched on something, which is they read through this big book of everyone saying it, long-winded, over-detailed, dragged-out writing, and captured right away the heart and the story of this series, and then realized that would make a great show because the story is what's great. Now, that being said, what it's kind of been is a huge, that's what the meme is, marketing ploy for the next 2 books, because there's a lot of little details, like MSK was saying, that aren't completely spelled out for you that I bet in the books, obviously the way he writes,
they have to be. Yeah,
why,
it's a book.
You know, like why Varys took his rings off before, meeting his judgment with Daenerys, how that conversation went between Tyrion and Bran, just a bunch of little things like that. You're going to get all those details in the book. So it almost is going to get more people that normally would watch a show or movie based on a book that's like done with it. Like, all right, that's good. I'm not going to go read the books now. This is probably going to get more people to go the other direction and go, you know what, I am going to go ahead and read these books and find out, because I do want to hear these little details and what the little differences are between the books and the show. But overall, I agree with MSK. I personally didn't need it. I get that that's what they were referencing with that. You know, I got a lot of the references, but I love the unpredictability of it. That was just completely out of left field. It works completely. It makes sense. He's very, with the way Tyrion's explaining it, he's very approachable for the people to accept as the new king out of nowhere, because now he's not part of a lineage. This is going to be the first king that's elected by all the other lords.
All the other houses.
All the other houses, which they said this will be the way it is from now on. Instead of it automatically be the heir, it would be someone selected.
They kind of went into a way where they were making fun of Sam.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think they did that. I think they did that to make fun of the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like, wait a minute. Yeah, and at the same time they're making fun of Sam. I'm like, wait a minute, but you're technically saying the same, what? What's happening?
Oh yeah, if Mel Brooks wrote that scene, they definitely said, democracy. Who are you kidding? This is the medieval times. What do you think this is? The 1700s?
Would never work, you moron.
Everyone started. Even Sansa smirked at him. Even Sansa was like, all right.
The best is when the cousin got up, like, he's gonna be king.
That was best.
Yeah. And you know what? That was great because that's with his character. He's such a coward and screw that guy that I'm glad Sansa's like, Uncle, just sit down. Just sit down.
Just sit down.
But anyways, the point I was making with Bran is that he's approachable by the people in the sense that his story isn't a big fighting hero, a warrior. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not such a grand thing that it almost is like a concept of like, oh, this is someone who gets what it is to be vulnerable, to be weak, to be unprepared, and to overcome, a strife with a handicap, which the people of the kingdoms that aren't lords, they're handicapped, financially, successfully wise. So they have to overcome that in order to, proceed in any type of, happiness. So it makes sense in that aspect. And with Jon bringing up that he's a Targaryen now, nobody wants to hear about Targaryens now. You know what I mean? After what Daenerys
no one's
did.
That
is true.
Regardless,
but with Bran, going back to Bran, even the three-eyed raven part of Bran, he's just, there is no motive with him.
Exactly.
He just wants to make sure that men live on and there's a story.
Of course.
That's why the whole thing with the Night King and all of that. He needed to protect the story of men. But there's no other motive to that. Like Bran does not want to be king.
Exactly.
And he said it multiple times in this episode. He does not want to be king.
Yeah, and again, everyone was focused on Jon, and Jon was the other guy who kept not wanting it, and even Varys said it. Who better than someone who doesn't want it, and Bran doesn't want it, But
and I get it, because I get why people would want Jon to be there, but we've been saying it like. He was not gonna ever get that. No matter even if everybody chose him, he still was not gonna take it. So no matter what, technically,
and
Jon
what's
got
funny
what he
is
wanted.
The leading theory with Jon, and this is what's funny because people are upset now. But the leading theory with Jon was that he's not gonna take the throne.
That's what happened,
and that he's gonna go north, restart the Night's Watch, and go with the wildlings and all that, and unite with his wolf.
What happened?
But because he didn't choose it, everyone's mad now. Oh, he doesn't deserve that kind of ending. It's the ending you thought and we're hoping for, but
that's where the character was always gonna end up, and everyone knew it. It's just like you said, Omega. It's just because he didn't choose it. Everyone is everyone. Not everyone, but the majority of the people online just don't. They wanna complain about something. I guess I don't know what it is.
I know. Well, look, what I want to point out before we start pointing out a bunch of little things throughout the episode, overall, because that's what we're saying about the end. the thing is that this is not the end. I love the sequence at the very end where they're showing Long Claw and then Needle and then Sansa's bustier, and they're showing the scene, and that's what that sequence is about. You know, well, the ghost scene is great. We're getting into that now, but my point is that they're showing that this is not their ends. This is their beginnings of the new chapters of their stories. Of their story. Yeah, A Song of Ice and Fire, which is great because it ended up being Sam the Meister. I'm going to get to that a little bit later about the writing style of R.R. Martin, why that's defendable now. But it was not Sam, but he helped them with the title of it. But it's everything that happened from Baratheon to Bran becoming king, which is a general story of Ice and Fire, because there's all these different elements of ice, the Starks, the North, the Night King, all these different elements of fire, Targaryens, the dragon, Daenerys, mother of dragons, all these things, and it's just it's a generalization of all the different characters that fit
what happened
into that story of what happened. That's over now. Jon is going north of the Wall. We don't know how far north he can go now that there's no undead to worry about.
Maybe there is a Night King.
We don't know. Who knows? Yeah. Who knows where that story goes? Arya's going to west of Westeros, which I got to call back to that because that was one thing I personally was calling since I saw that episode. It was season 6 when she had been stabbed by what was her name, the Wraith or whatever, the other nobody girl, and the actress was healing her, the Mrs. Lady Crane or whatever, and they had that conversation. She goes, "Where will you go? Come with us to be part of the tour." She goes, "No." She goes, "Where will you go?" And she goes, "What's west of Westeros?" And she says, "Nobody." She goes, "I don't know." And she says, "Nobody knows." And she goes, "Maybe the end of the world." And Arya says, "I'd like to see that." And I always had the feeling since then, like, she's gonna become Arya the Explorer and go,
Explorer,
and go
they hinted at that in, I think, season 1 too. I think she said a line,
I think so too, and
around that line,
it lines up with her wolf because Nymeria did her thing and formed a pack, but Nymeria went off and did her thing and moved on. And I always had a feeling that's what she was gonna do. But so now we have the beginning of her story, and now Sansa is refreed the North, is queen of the North. She's gonna get obviously married, probably have kids. Who knows?
That's what what's
going to happen
from day one. That's what she wanted.
Exactly. So we
but I will get into that later.
Yeah, my wife is. The same
I wish she didn't get happy. Yeah, I know. But the point of the matter is, the fact of the matter is that it's not the end. This is the story continues, just not for us on this show, but it's not. They're not their ending, and so it's not. It's a happy ending or sad ending, or it's the beginning of the new. I mean, for Daenerys, it's definitely an ending. But
what did you guys think about that? How did you think about her death?
Oh, well, I'll say that I love that it was definitely the vision that she had the moment she walked into that throne room with the snow falling.
I actually pointed that out.
I knew it.
Actually pointed that out.
But it wasn't snow; it was ash.
Yeah, it was ash.
Everyone assumes it's snow, but it's ash.
But either way, with the ash falling on it, I knew, okay, she's going to die right now, so it is going to be Jon, because I was hoping for Arya. Everyone was. They kind of built towards that. Right. But I knew at that moment, I'm like, oh, wow, Jon. And already in the back of my head, it had to be everyone's head. Yeah, but the best part was everyone was thinking the whole time, like, what's he going to do about that dragon? Yeah. like, this is not going to go well as soon as he does the deed. But sure enough, just to finish that, as soon as she went and touched the throne, you knew she was going to die, because that's the moment from there that she would go meet Drogo and her child in the afterlife. And it's what happened. So I think everyone knew, at least a vast majority of the audience, even though they didn't want to know, when she started walking down towards the throne, that Jon was going to do her in that scene. And it was well done. It was very dramatic. And I thought it was, you could see the heartbreak in Jon for doing that. And going back to the point of that, at the end of the day, even though he did it for the right reason, he's a murderer. Another reason you can't put him on it's too complicated now. He did his job. He saved the Seven Kingdoms.
Politically, it's too
taking
complicated.
her out, but he can't be king. So it makes sense that it would be.
Man, he didn't get to choose his own fate, guys. Come on, Jon. He was like the only person that belongs there. What's going on?
Yeah, there's a lot of hate going on. I don't know what you guys have read so far, but I've read a lot of things.
Oh no, it's going crazy. But like Yo-Piece was mentioning earlier, we got the ghost scene.
Yeah, Jon is not an asshole. He pet his wolf. He's back with his wolf. I think a lot of people are happy with that.
He hugged him. He pet him. And look, they didn't just shoot that 5 days ago. All right, people, can you give the writers
they
a
set
second?
That up. Actually, they set up one thing, and I want to hear what you guys think about this. I think they fixed something with Jaime's character, with how Brienne went back to that book, and how she wrote that he was a Kingsguard that stayed with his queen to the end.
I don't think they added that. I think you called this. Well, maybe that specific line, but I think you.
Yeah, I did.
But
I'm saying I mean, I'm not saying they added it like 5 days ago. That's terrible. But I'm saying that they had it thought out and they planned it that way so Brienne could finish his story.
Yeah, she did.
And I did call it, and I'm glad. I'm really happy that that's the way it ended because that's
it was
that
great.
fulfills what Jaime is as a knight.
Yeah,
you know he
and then she's his legacy because here she is now her Podrick, which is awesome.
Right, yeah, that was great.
The knights.
That they're the King's Guard, and she's a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Thanks to him, he knighted her, and that story and that legacy lives on through her. And you know she respected who he was and who he loved. You know to the moment he died. So and he did like you called it about him getting his props in that book.
Right. No, but I think and I think it's a big because I know a lot of people didn't like the way Jaime went out. They said that his character didn't change. And I think that fixed that problem. I think it made him even more so of a knight going out. Even if the queen was terrible or she's a mad queen or whatever, he still stayed with his queen because he is a knight from the first day.
It's exactly what Tyrion says. People believe stories. Right. That's all they're going to see. Yeah. That's all they're going to see. They're not going to know all the things he did, all the things he didn't do. Yeah. All they're going to see is that book and what he did towards the end. That's all. Yeah. That's what history is.
Yeah, I don't think
technically.
Yeah, I don't think she wrote. Yeah, I don't think she wrote in that book. Was religiously bopping his sister.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think that's
probably
in
there. Didn't. She probably did.
She probably left that part out. She left that part out.
Yeah,
it's all about that. It's all about the stories, and that's why it works so perfect. That vision, that showing her doing it was actually really good because it reminded me of you, MSK, for real. Like I was like, he called that.
I like the way the council was set up. It makes sense having those people. Excuse me, having those people in that council. How Davos is the guy that is in charge of the ships. How Brienne is the King's Guard. How Bronn is the coin. The guy that handles coin. Like all of that.
He was
makes
bringing
sense.
The brothels. All the brothels got destroyed.
I would definitely put in money for that. It's like what?
Yeah. What was the joke? He was telling that joke again. It goes always back to like season 1. The joke about I once took
Tyrion. So good. What did you guys think about Grey Worm? How his character ended up?
I mean, it was the same thing. He had a heel turn. We get his though. Missandei was his world, pretty much, and that was taken from him. So he went full on dark side. I do like that they're hinting at a redemption for his character. Again, this is not their ends. This is all their new beginnings from this story on.
Right.
And they're going to what is it? Noth, which is which is where Missandei's from. So obviously they're gonna go there to protect those people and keep them from becoming slaves anymore. Because Noth's like much further part of Essos that Daenerys never went to. So they're a peaceful people. They're pacifists, so they're constantly getting picked off as slaves from other kingdoms. So it makes sense now. Here they come in her honor. They're gonna go defend these people and keep them free and peaceful, and that might pacify them and change their outcome in life as well. So there's a hint of his redemption as well.
At first I didn't fully accept Grey Worm's ending because for me, if he sees his queen no longer there, like someone killed his queen. And he held Jon and Tyrion in custody for that. I don't think he would have done that. For me, like his character wouldn't have held them for that long. But after you see them bring Tyrion out and politically, that makes sense because he doesn't want to fight anymore.
Yeah.
So I think politically it makes sense of holding those people captive until they pick the king. Mm-hmm. And he demanded some sort of justice, and the justice was sending Jon to the north, which was a punishment. Yeah. Which made sense to me. So after I thought about it, after a little while, I really, I didn't mind that he didn't go full out. Let's kill Jon.
Well, just a couple of things on that is I understand a lot of people are gonna be frustrated because there was a hint at a Jon Grey Worm showdown, which would have been great. It wasn't necessary, but I would have preferred that over getting the Euron and Jaime fight that we got last.
100%.
But
100%.
The point is that remember Tyrion was taken for the whole, which you knew it right away that what was going to happen when he went over there. You knew he was going to take off the hand pin and throw it, and that's what he was mainly for betraying by releasing Jaime. So he wasn't really being held because of what John did, but it goes back to like, damn, John, you can't lie. It's like as soon as that dragon took off with Danny, I'm like, no body, no murder.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm thinking
There's
like,
not even a dagger, son. Like,
I
you
know.
got away
like,
with
the
it.
whole body is gone. There's no DNA in Westeros. Like, are you like, and it's like
Drogon was giving him a
know,
solid.
all
He was doing him a
he had to
solid.
say-
He
all
was
he had
getting
to
rid of the
say
Can't
body.
lie.
Listen, this
She
dragon
left. She
picked
said,
her
I'm
up
done with
and
all of this.
flew
I'm
away
out.
with her. I have
Yeah.
no idea what
No,
happened.
she left. I say she left. She said,
That's
I'm
it.
out. She said, nah, you know what? It's yours. You're Aegon
Just
Targaryen. I'm
lie.
done. This is to lie. For once,
once
just
in
lie.
your life, son. Just lie.
He can't, man. He's Ned's. At the end of the day, he's Ned Stark's kid. That's what
I
it is.
know. No, but then he was waiting for that dragon to take him out. I'm like, man, can you pull that knife out before that dragon gets over here? It's like murder 101.
I
No
don't know
weapon.
who did it. Like,
you
she was
don't
like
need
this
a
when I
murder
found her.
weapon. Like, come on. But you know, I
No, that was
really
good.
liked
That was
the
good.
that was done. That was such a great scene. A couple of cool, iconic, like symbolic photo scenes. The first one was, I know you all caught the dragon wings behind Danny
That
as she was walking.
That was
like,
great.
cool.
That
was
was
so cool.
awesome.
That was so
very
cool.
good.
But aside from that, was the throne, like that moment. If you're like I already was gonna be upset. I'm like, okay. Someone already proved it. I think one of you remembers the name. Someone had mentioned it on I think it was Twitter or Instagram, one of those, that he was burned before. We have
Yes,
seen John
yes.
get burned. It was,
Yeah,
it
right.
was season
It was a
one.
reaction.
Yeah,
I mean, it could have been a reaction.
Gary.
Yeah.
Gary mentioned that for me.
there you go. So there you go. Getting props for resolving that for us. So yeah, he did burn his hand, even though the argument is that could just be a reaction of someone who thinks they're being burned because that's just what they've seen. But regardless, I was like, it was pretty convincing, that burn. I hope they're not gonna go now with the dragon's gonna breathe fire on him and he's not gonna burn, and now the dragon's gonna be his buddy.
I'm glad they didn't.
I'm glad he didn't either, and I just like that because there was even the hint when Tyrion had said it, which goes back to, again, in the books, he might be half Targaryen or whatnot, but he had said that dragons are supposed to be very intelligent creatures. He said some people would even say more intelligent than people. So we're thinking of a very sentient animal, not just an animal that's basic, it has living off of basic instinct, 2 neurons. It's not. It can comprehend the situation. So this dragon knew he was part Targaryen. It basically can smell on him, like a good heart and a good person, and he could see the pain that he's going through as well. So he and I guess from her writing on him, I know I'm trying to put my own creativity and thoughts and
you're doing too
emotions
much
into
right
the
now.
concept of the scene. I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think you are doing a little too much.
But I just think that the dragon was frustrated, and they showed that so well because he didn't burn him and then just destroyed that throne.
Not
That
only
was
that,
such
but
great
I
scene.
believe the dragon also realized like he was the last guy that let him in, and he kind of
Yeah.
messed up.
Yeah,
Messed up in that sense.
Yeah.
He's
He
like,
damn,
I was supposed to guard
my
her.
fault too.
He's like, oh, caught me sleeping. Oh, my bad.
I will say this. So what did you guys not? I mean, we're all praising the episode. I think we all agree that it was not a bad.
I think it was great.
Series.
And MSK actually made his wife suffer through watching Dexter. It was a great joke for WhatsApps and everything. I don't think you should have actually
MSK.
done
I
it.
had to actually retweet that in our page, man, because
Yeah. Well, because I had to remind people
That's bad
that
writing.
no matter what, there is the expectations everyone had for Dexter was really high as well, and that failed so
goodness.
bad.
Listen.
So bad that I had to revisit that to kind of like remind everyone that the worst episode of Game of Thrones is nowhere near as bad as what happened to
I don't
Dexter.
even want to talk about this. That Dexter episode was.
I'll name plenty of shows, man.
Oh.
Sons of Anarchy, Smallville.
We couldn't finish
There's
it.
so
We
many
watched like
shows.
maybe half an hour of it, and we're like, yeah, no, we're
It's
good.
bad.
We're
The
done.
thing is, there's so many shows that end badly, and here's the other one too. And this is what happened with Daenerys. I think that they didn't make her full on heel from the get go, and this is kind of the argument we were having for last episode. But now that it ended and she was, given, a death to save the Seven Kingdoms, basically personifying her as evil. In fairness, they kind of redeemed her in one small sense, that they kind of made it not her fault, in the sense like when Tyrion was explaining to Jon, like, hey, she really believes that. What would you do if you really believe that? But the point of that was to give Jon no other choice but then to kill her. It's like, yeah, there is no talking to her now. There is no whatever. She's going to do what she has to do.
She had her mind made
exactly.
up. She was a tyrant.
Yeah,
right? She was going to become a tyrant.
And the truth is that is a classic story, especially in like Asian emperor stories in China and things like that of like trying to unite all the kingdoms because they think they can do it best. Julius Caesar did it. Alexander the Great really did it. Of this concept of like, I'm good. I know what good is. So if I put everyone under my rule, here comes utopia. And then as Shakespeare says, with great power, absolute
great
power
responsibility.
Yeah, was that Shakespeare or Spider-Man? Were you about to quote Spider-Man?
No, where great power comes great responsibility. No, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts.
Oh, Uncle Ben.
With great power,
Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben's great responsibility. That's what he said.
I like that one better.
But it's a corruption because she's getting all powerful and all tyrant. I can't be questioned. I can't and then every voice of reason that she loved, because she didn't love Tyrion, was gone and was taken from her. And unfortunately, maybe Grey Worm would have been a voice of reason if Missandei hadn't been beheaded and yelled her last word, Dracarys.
Yeah, no, her voice of reason died with Jorah. Yeah. It died with Jorah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even with Missandei, I think
Missandei kind of saw that coming too. Like there was moments where she would look at her like, are we actually doing this? So I think she also saw that coming, but at the end, before she lost her life, she literally had to tell them, I mean, whatever she needed to say. She was gonna get killed, so I don't blame Missandei for that.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, I think in general this season, everyone's complaining about the pacing and everything, and I think they could have done with maybe an episode after, like an episode extra after maybe episode 4 or one after episode 3, maybe 1 or 2 extra episodes. It would have appeased everyone, I think, because they needed the whole reaction of what they really needed, and I needed this because until this episode, I really didn't believe in Jon Snow and Daenerys loving each other.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it.
I agree with that
100%. Until this episode, that last scene, it was like, all right, yeah, they really do love each other. But maybe an episode of 2 of them showing their love together, I think that would have helped a lot.
So, to touch on what you're saying, it is sad that the most romantic scene that the two of them had this season was him killing her. Like that, it really was
exactly.
The most romantic.
Exactly. No, and it was a great scene.
It was
great. Romantic and I mean, it was.
So
just
I'm
great.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think an extra episode would have helped anybody. I think this show was gonna get the hate that was getting, because what I think happened in the mind of people is that they wanted battle after battle after battle after battle, and nothing resolved, and then a cliffhanger at the end, right? Because that's what everybody wants. That's the only thing anybody expects in the show. They wanted a shocking moment too. They wanted a shocking moment. I guarantee you, people wanted another red wedding.
But then when you get the shocking moment, then they complain that the shocking moment wasn't earned.
The shocking moment is Bran is the king. What do you? Bran is king. Like,
no. That's not enough. That's not enough. Somebody needed to I don't know. Like I just can't even fathom or understand what these people wanted. But I'm telling you, no matter what, if you would have given them 2 extra episodes, they still would have complained. They still would have hated it. And I just don't know why they're feeling the way they're feeling.
Yeah, I guess you're right about the people that hate it 100%. But I think maybe 2 episodes for the people that are kind of like in the middle. Like maybe 2 or 3 episodes.
Is there anyone out there in the middle? Honestly, though,
I know. Look, hold on.
There is though. No, I think there's a couple of people that are like,
there's people that love
like
one episode, hate another, and then they like the one that you didn't think they'd like, and then hate the one that, you know what I mean? Like, you think about it. The long night is where it all started, like the real hate, and like really the two episodes before that didn't have any action whatsoever in it aren't the ones where the hate started. You know what I mean? And then they'll like an episode that's like comedic and more dialogue, and then suddenly hate the battle episode, but then complain that there wasn't enough battle. You know what I mean? Like there's also inconsistency going on in what people like and don't like. Yeah. And then 2 things I'll touch on real quick. First thing is like, I've been here for weeks already now. Like, it's going to be in a wrap-up episode. Like, yeah, they're wrapping it up. What is it supposed to be?
Here's the other thing. As far as these haters or whatever you want to call them, trolls, I honestly don't even know what to say anymore. But we can all thank all the theories that were put out there. Honestly, think about it. You guys put out so many content out there for these writers that they literally had to do something
For
else.
the past 3-4 years, yep.
Yeah, that's true. And they said it
did say
themselves
that.
in the behind the scenes thing. They
That
said
was with the
something like
Cersei death. They said that one of the because everybody obviously, which most likely that's one of the things that'll be different in the book. She probably will die a little bit more aggressively or violently, and someone will give her just deserves. But they wanted to do something slightly different for the show, and unfortunately, for the past 4 years, everyone's been predicting all over the internet, everywhere, how Cersei's gonna die. So at the expense of not being predictable, they changed it up. I think it was still relevant to the story. Might not have been what people wanted. And in fairness, on behalf of all three of us, we're not saying anybody's fool on. Okay, with that, but in fairness, I think that's what we're pointing out things too that we thought could have been better and we didn't like. And I can understand if you say, I would have preferred John. Or like everyone has
series
at all. It doesn't make and it doesn't make it a bad episode. It doesn't make a well produced, well shot, well directed, well acted, well performed, piece of art put on television before you bad just because you didn't like the direction or what they did with a certain character. You have to acknowledge, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, like what I said before with the whole Brienne writing his Jamie's journal, like his entry or whatever. I think that fixed. For me, that fixed the problem I had with the Cersei, him going back to Cersei, and with Cersei herself. I think the problem with that is that they didn't write her as a sympathetic character that people could sympathize for her. But you were supposed to get that through Jamie,
right?
When Jamie goes into that, goes into that room with her, you're supposed to get that from him and how he loves her and how much he'll do anything from her. And I think with Brienne writing that in as a Knight's Guard, protecting his queen to the end, I think that's satisfying for me. I think that fixed that issue for me.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got to say, not for me, because I'm gonna be honest about something. I was hoping, and I bet you your piece was. I think a lot of people watching were hoping that if Tyrion found their bodies, I was hoping it would be cool if Cersei actually is a little bit alive.
No, man, I'm so glad that didn't happen. I'm so glad that didn't
happen. I'm glad it would have been so bad.
Because I actually felt like that was going to happen.
Could you imagine he chokes her to death? And then he chokes her to death? Actually, I did think for a moment, though, her face was exposed. I'm like, oh, man, Arya's going to use Cersei's face to kill Daenerys.
The whole time was for Jamie to still be alive somehow. That's what I was thinking.
But you saw the hand.
I saw.
Yeah.
But honestly, that it was, man, it was so good. Like seeing Tyrion the way he was, knowing that he's at that moment feeling like, damn, this is my fault. All that emotion that was put into it. Like, come on, guys, are you kidding me? Are you really watching this?
Yeah.
Are you really watching this?
You know what's funny?
Maybe people wanted the Raul Julia, like in Street Fighter, how his hand comes up at the end.
Yeah.
I think that's what they wanted.
Or the Shredder, or the Shredder.
Or Shredder,
the Shredder, Teenage Mutant Turtles. It's horrible.
Well, actually, somebody at my party, I don't know if it was my wife, maybe it was. She said maybe he's actually hitting Cersei in the face just to make sure that
I was thinking about that too. I was thinking about that too.
Maybe
no, but I'm glad how his story ended. I mean, the fact that he didn't want to be the hand at the end of the day, and Bran's like, listen, I didn't want to be king either, but we got to do what we need to do.
But here I am, so
exactly.
I think everyone ended up where they should be, especially all the Starks. All the Starks got exactly
and look at that hint when he says
it's about the Starks, guy. It's all about the Starks.
Exactly.
They got it.
Yeah, it ends with the Starks.
They won.
But look how even
they own everything.
With Bran when he says he's going to look for Drogon.
Yeah, I kept expecting the white eye thing.
That's what I think. That's what he was going to go.
Yeah, I'm going to go now.
That's what he was going to go for.
That kind of been bad. No, if he didn't leave, he just stayed there. He goes, "All right, you guys do your thing. I'm going to go now." He just rolls his
so
eyes
embarrassing.
back.
That is embarrassing, sir. You need to take that to another room, sir. We don't need that right now.
Okay, Padre, can you please?
Don't be doing that in
front of another room.
No, but I think that's exactly what he was. He was going to go
eyes.
fly the actual dragon. That was
use his ravens to look for him. And which makes sense. I mean, you want to keep tabs on that thing. Is he laying other eggs? Is the dragon's going to become a insane infestation problem in the next 10 20 years from now, or we'll see. But I just think it was I watched it twice actually, because while we were waiting to set up to record, and when you watch it with a less critical eye and more of a story appreciation, a disposition, you see all the little things that make sense and how it works and how it does close things up. It's almost like we were talking about when we did our Endgame wrap up for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I will agree, it's not the best episode. Obviously, it doesn't have as much action as I would have preferred. Maybe a John Grey Worm fight would have been great. Right. It's not, the most CGI'd, especially coming off a great episode, which everyone trashed, but whatever. A great episode of Flambe City and, just swords and, I mean, just everything you want from, a medieval type theme piece of work. But as a wrap up to the series, I'm sorry, they need to wrap it up. That's what it is.
I mean, it has to end. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was well done.
I thought it was well done.
I thought it was. I mean, it's not even a top 10 episodes, but
I mean, it's not one of the best episodes in the whole series. There's so many other episodes that were way better, but and it's not perfect either. There are some things that you could have done better. But as a series finale, I think it was well done. I think that it wrapped everything the way it should have wrapped up, and all the characters are where they're supposed to be.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and here's the thing, it's, and I love, like, that meme is spot on with the Ramsey Bolton, with the, if you thought this was going to have a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean it's not happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think John has potential to be happy. Arya definitely has potential to be happy. Sansa has potential to be happy.
Yeah. You know who's not happy? The majority of the fans online. That's who's not happy.
That's who's not happy. And that's what I'm saying. But that's my point. It's like, I don't get what, you know what I mean? And like we said about the John one, it's a perfect argument. It's like, he ended up where everyone was theorizing. He ended up just not the way you thought he'd go there. Not on his own terms, unfortunately. But yeah, fortunately his own terms. But I think it's a great story. Really, look, you pick apart John's love stories. Yeah, man, poor guy, but that's what it's Shakespearean. It's a drama. Yeah. That's what it is. He's a guy he loved once. That love died in his arms, fighting on the opposite side of him, and then the other one to save the realm. He killed her, and she died.
It was tragic. He had a tragic arc, and now he's where he needs to be.
Somebody said something as maybe Dany is still alive because she should not be dead because he survived a blow to the heart, and I was like sitting. So I'm sitting there.
Hey, good
I'm
for you.
sitting there going, wait a minute, what is happening? Like, how is that possible that somebody can actually write that and not understand? But how did all that come to play? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how did he come back to life? Who was there?
Yeah. Like the Red Witch was also with Dany at one point. Like, did you not watch the show? Seriously, like, that's the thing.
Yeah, but here, in fairness, good for that person in one sense of letting that be a story that could continue in their dreams and in their mind, because that dragon could be taking her back to Valeria, hooking up with another red priestess that somehow will bring her back to life. It could happen. So there you go. Your story continues. It's not her
why
end.
Is that
it's totally
bad episode because of that?
Of course.
Why is this a bad episode? Because that's how it's shown to you.
No. And I'll tell you, it might be very possible, because we know this guy writes very big books, and he's taken a long time to write the last two books, R.R. Martin. Maybe book 6 lines up with this ending, and book 7 is everything after this.
Yeah.
Book 7.
I can see that.
Daenerys being taken by the dragon, Jon going north of the wall, Arya going west of Westeros, Sansa queen of the north, and that's what book 7
I do think in the books, I'm thinking in the books he's going to change certain things, like Arya killing the Night King. I think maybe Jon's going to end up doing that. Little things are going to change, but overall, I think that's always been. It's going to be the same.
I think it's always been the plan for Arya to
I hope it is. I mean, but I do think he is going to change some things. But
he's probably going to give us the fight of Jon and the Night King before. He might even
exactly. Maybe I think Theon will get a little bit more oomph in his fight scene as well before.
And I get complaints like that. I understand little, but again, it's not going to break the whole show for me.
It's not a Disney show, man. It's not a Disney. You already know. Okay, you watch. Okay, I'm gonna bring up like the cartoon of Aladdin.
Oh no!
Oh man! Let's start wrapping this up because I'm not gonna get to Aladdin.
I'm saying, but you already know. And I'm saying in the cartoon, I'm saying you already know that he's gonna fight Jafar. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Simba is gonna fight Scar. Like, yes, if this is a Disney cartoon story, yes, you're right. I'm definitely gonna get the main hero or heroine is gonna take on the main villain, and they're gonna win, and they're gonna live happily ever after, and that's Disney. This is Game of Thrones, man. This is hardcore blood, nudity, sex scenes. Stop trying to get fairy tale endings.
They change it up. It could be a Disney, and they still change it up. Like who cares? Like, you're not gonna get you're not gonna get what you wanted. And if you wanted what you wanted, like if you wanted that, how about this? I'm gonna give you some tips on what to do. Get a typewriter.
What year are you in, man?
Yes, you heard me.
Typewriter.
A typewriter. No. Listen, get a typewriter so you can understand what writing it really is. Buy a typewriter, right? Put that paper in there and start typing away, right? And then scan it and put it online and let everybody see your story on how you would have ended it. Maybe you'll do something with it. But in the meantime, just accept it.
Just in case everyone needs to know where to get a typewriter, you go on Amazon. You could probably get it delivered somehow.
And 1 hour.
I don't know anyone that owns one, but
maybe. No, get a typewriter so you can actually understand what writing back in the days was like, a real writing. Like, do the real thing. Don't give me this whole little typey thing in the computer. No. I want you to typewrite it.
Oh man, everyone's gonna hate this episode, but whatever. Whatever. That's that's how
honestly,
I feel. That's how we feel.
The only thing that I can honestly say about this episode, again, I wanted the things. I feel like I wanted the extra things about it. I didn't get it.
Right.
It's okay. I'm okay with the ending. I really am. I'm really okay with the ending. I only seen it
surprising.
once.
I really didn't think you were gonna like the brand.
No,
thing,
I did. I actually
did.
It did not bother me at all. I get it. That kid has been through a lot, and I get it. But here's the other part into it. Like, I'm okay with it, but at the same time, like I was saying, I'm not fully like satisfied with it, and that's the whole point of this show. Like, it's not supposed to satisfy you. The only thing I didn't like about it is Sansa. I just still don't care about Sansa, and that's me.
Because you don't like that character, which is great, because I mean that's what that character did for you. You just don't like her.
I just don't like her. Like, I don't like her.
That's what it is. That's all it is.
But
that's where she was supposed to be, man. And even you could agree that that's where she was always going to end up. She was going to end up ruling something,
right?
Because that's what she always wanted to be, a queen,
right? So
yeah.
So that's the only thing. I really don't care about Sansa, and that's just the bottom line. That's it. Other than that, I'm okay with it. I'm not very.
No, I agree. I agree with the Sansa thing 100%. It's definitely not what I would have, chosen for her end, because we had talked about before. I definitely wanted her to get her, justice for playing her part in all this happening.
Yeah.
She definitely performed and played a critical role in pushing Dany over the edge with betraying Jon.
With Sansa, I mean, this season is actually the first season I actually understood her motives, and I actually kind of agree with her, man. She saw Dany going a little crazy even before she started pushing her buttons. She saw it coming, and I mean, she grew as a character for me, because in the beginning I really hated her. I really hated Sansa from the first season, and this is the actual first season. I'm like, all right, she makes sense. She makes sense.
I think she still has a habitual line crossing problem of going against the family. Like, she's so afraid of this family. I mean, not intelligence wise, but she always goes against the family, and she never learned that lesson when it cost her wolf. You know what I mean? Like, she just constantly does that, and that's what she did. She predictably betrayed Jon by telling Tyrion to
do all that on purpose.
But she didn't betray. I don't think she went against the family. She betrayed Jon's word to
did that on purpose.
To Daenerys, but she did it to protect her family, because she knew Daenerys was gonna go crazy.
She did it to protect herself and to get what she always wanted. That's all it was. That's what it came down to.
But I will say, it does go back to what MSK was saying though about Bran being the Kaiser Sose of the series.
Yeah, he let everything happen.
Because obviously they're hinting at that he sees the future, but not whatever he wants. Like, he easily sees the past, and the future he gets kind of glimpses and can kind of interpret it or whatnot. Because if he could full on just see the future, he manipulated all of it. Because all he had to do was not tell Jon at all that he was Aegon Targaryen. You know what I mean? But I was like, no, this was going to get me on the throne, so I got to do it. If he full on sees the future,
Kaiser Soze, man. He's the Kaiser Soze.
Yeah, he's a
he
problem.
Tricked everyone.
He's a problem.
There's a reason why that man was calm in a lot of these episodes. I'm going to go back. I'm going to let you know this man was calm. This man knew.
Yeah, even until the Night King was about to kill him.
This man knew
he was just sitting there chilling.
Up. He was like, they're gonna put a ramp. They're gonna put a ramp up for me, and I'm gonna be that man. I'm gonna be that king. That's me. He knew.
But he's such a
Just think about all the construction they got to do just for Bran now.
Oh man, no, just all well, it doesn't matter because they're rebuilding King's Landing anyways. So, but anyways, that's the thought. I mean, they didn't really show it, but I'm assuming now they turned down because Davos had made that offer about King's Landing being taken over by the Unsullied and the Dothraki.
Well, he was giving him
prize.
a piece of land somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Somewhere else. But they obviously turned that down. I think maybe the Dothraki might have taken it, or they're probably leaving to Essos too. But obviously, King's Landing is again the people of Westeros, and is being repopulated by,
Right.
the obviously not
Westerosi.
everyone. Yeah, the Westerosi. Yeah, I guess that's what that's called.
Yeah, I don't know I was thinking about that. Where did the Dothraki? Because they didn't really bring it up. So I guess you're gonna have to assume. That's another thing. I guess
Either
you're gonna
they-
have to assume they left.
Yeah,
Either some of them left back, or some of them took that land that was offered to them.
yeah, or they
I
just became part of the city.
Or they're part of.
It's just
King's
part of
Landing.
that city now.
Oof, that's like a lot. of
No,
work
that's
for
rough.
them.
I don't see them. I think they left. I think they gave him a ship and peaced out. They went back to I don't know. They went back to Essos and just peaced out.
To cause
I
trouble.
do enjoy the scene of Arya getting her own ship and just leaving
That was
as an
awesome.
adventurer.
was
I enjoyed that very much.
Which now she's apparently the Christopher Columbus online.
Right.
Yeah,
That's funny.
that's a new
Of
thing.
Westeros.
Yeah.
So she's gonna find
Only
who's the
Arya's more
Northern
honorable.
Landsman. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna go into this right now.
All
But you are 100% right.
This guy.
right, let's wrap this up, guys.
So I guess
it up.
in closing, Yo-Piece, the website, just the usual information.
Website is fanaticallycorrect.com. That's it. You're gonna find everything there. I can't give you more information because we got to wrap it up. But
And just one more mention: Sunrise Comic-Con, August 10th. It's a Saturday. Just go to sunrisefl.gov / Comic-Con, and you can get all the information there as to what's going to be there, how to get tickets, and all that good stuff. And we'll get a little bit more detailed in the upcoming episodes.
and I want to thank every cosplay that I was actually at MegaCon this weekend, and I was able to throw some pictures of certain people and put it up on our Instagram. So I want to thank them for allowing us to actually put up
Share
their
that.
pictures, and they can just tag themselves whenever they want to there if they actually see themselves on it.
Yeah, thank you for that. And we'll definitely probably talk a little bit about MegaCon and stuff like that in the next episode.
Yes, sir.
He's had some
Yeah.
good experiences there that we'd probably like to share.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that'd be good.
We're
good stuff.
for sure
But-
going to do a wrap up of the whole series.
I think the nerdcessity would be next weekend. I mean, especially now. Here's the definition of word nerdcessity. Get your nerd on. I've really personally, and I think you guys have watched them too, have enjoyed these little 20-minute.
Oh, yeah.
The reveal, of the game or whatever that they've been showing at Game of Thrones, and the little documentaries. They're doing a full-on documentary next Sunday to be pretty much the last thing we actually get of this cast, this crew, this production company for this series.
But not this podcast.
Yeah, not this
Not
podcast.
this podcast.
but get your nerd on, watch that, and we'll probably be referencing that in the final wrap up of the entire series of Game of Thrones and how it's affected television and what's going on from that point on, and we'll definitely be referencing that documentary. So I think just to keep it simple, that'll be a great necessity is watch that on next Sunday,
All right.
9 p.m. on HBO.
Miss Sunday
So-
or next Sunday?
This Sunday coming up.
Jeez.
The following, when you're crying, going, "There's no Game of Thrones." At least you have behind the scenes of
Yeah.
Game of
Yeah.
Thrones. So.
And next week we have one more thing, and then I don't know what we're gonna watch after that.
Stranger
know.
Things comes back in July. We got
yeah,
that.
Vikings.
yeah, no, we got stuff. It's just not,
stuff.
you know.
I don't know about that Golden Compass based series that
Well,
HBO's trying to
HBO is
push
really
out
pushing
to.
for that and Watchmen, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I heard,
we'll see
I heard
what's
somebody
happens.
mention something called Nightfall or something like that.
Oh, that's on Netflix. Yeah, I don't know. I've been hearing good things and mixed reviews.
Yeah. But we'll
Vikings
find out.
is great.
We'll find
That's
out
what
eventually.
So we'll see. But so that we'll wrap it up for now. We'll have more details in the future. This is Omega saying peace.
MSK, peace out.
Yo, peace, Peters.
And there you have it, folks. This has been Fanatically Correct. Until next time, you crazy kids. Signing off.